I'm actually making juice today. We're gonna do an orange carrot juice. And as I'm juicing, I'll actually share, what does it mean to have an imbalanced sacral chakra? What does that look like, whether it's overactive, underactive, and what we could potentially do to fix it. Let's jump right in. Let's get to juicing. So before I get to juicing, I'm actually going to explain a little bit as to what a sacral chakra is and how it relates to the human body. A sacral chakra, often called the sacral energy center, is one of the 7 main energy centers in the human body. It's located in the lower abdomen below the navel. It's associated with emotions, creativity, and pleasure, and is believed to influence our ability to feel and express our emotions and connect with others on an intimate level. When it's balanced, it helps us feel joyful and inspired, and when it's imbalanced, it can lead to emotional issues or creative blocks. Let's actually get into what some of those imbalances may look like, because it's possible to have an overactive sacral chakra as well as an underactive sacral chakra, right? So what is overactive? What is underactive? And what could those symptoms look like? I got you. So an overactive chakra may have the symptoms of being excessively emotional. You may be overindulging, right? Pleasure seeking activities such as eating, excessive drinking, risky behaviors. You may have some addictive behaviors that come up as well that may tie into this overindulgence, such as like substance abuse or shopping addictions, other forms of, compulsive behaviors. And one of the big ones that it impacts is your creativity. When you have an overactive chakra, you might notice that you're a bit scattered or have uncontrolled creative impulses, or you may have creative blocks where you just are unable to create at all, right? And some of the other symptoms are sexual issues, emotional dependency, lack of discipline, and difficulty with boundaries. So if you're experiencing any of that, you may have an overactive sacral chakra. Now, if it's underactive, you may experience some of the symptoms such as emotional numbness, right? Not being able to feel your emotions or express your emotions. You may have low libido, reduced interest in sex or sexual desires, right? Which leads to a difficulty in intimacy. You may lack creativity, which is similar to the overactive. You may have low motivation. You may withdraw socially, don't want to connect with people. You may experience some type of guilt and shame about something, especially if it's around sexuality and self-expression. You may experience some addictive behaviors as well with a underactive chakra. So if you are experiencing any of those symptoms or know someone that does, they definitely may have an overactive or underactive sacral chakra. And it's not pleasant. It's not. So what I've done was found some ways to potentially regulate or get your sacral back in balance. And this is actually one of them. But before we dive in here, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how I discovered my imbalance in my sacral chakra. I'm actually going to turn on this juicer so I can be juicing in the background while I explain. First thing that I did was acknowledge the blockage. I knew that there was something wrong, and I wanted to fix it because I didn't want to be in that headspace for too long. The second thing that I did was, that's right, meditate. Um, it's so effective. It's such an amazing tool once you use it and understand the inner workings of it. So what I did was a scan. At the time, I knew that I had a blockage. I just didn't know where. So I did a meditative scan where I start off with my crown energy, go down to the third eye, the throat, the heart, the solar plexus. When I got to that sacral, it felt so heavy. It did. It felt so heavy. And I knew that that was where the blockage lied. So after that, what I did was research. I said, okay, what does it mean to have a blocked sacral chakra? What are some of the symptoms? And I'm just checking them off, like, okay, I'm just checking them boys off. And I'm like, how did I get here? Right? So then after that, I did a second part of my meditation where I really kind of focused on what it was that caused that in the first place. So for me, I was suppressing my own sexual energy as well as some creative energy. I felt like, oh, I want to be creative, but I have to do it in this box. And between those two, I didn't realize that I was creating this imbalance within me. And, day after day, I found that I was getting more and more. I don't like to use the word depressed because I don't like speaking that on anybody. And I'm not speaking it on me for sure. Okay. But I was starting to feel more down. I lacked energy. I didn't feel as upbeat and happy as I normally am. So I knew I had to do something different. Ooh, it's ready. Okay. It's my favorite part. Ooh. Oh, that looks so good. Look how vibrant that is. One of the other things that I found in my research is that you should eat sacral foods, meaning foods that look orange, if you want to simplify it, right? And the reason being is that this color is tied to that energy center. So when you're filling yourself with that energy, right? Even I like to say intention is what's the most important in these things. When you fill yourself with these orange foods, right? Carrot, oranges, sweet potatoes, they're helping rebuild and balance your sacral chakra. So that's actually why I'm making some carrot orange juice now, because I figured, this could help in the process. It's worked for me in the past, so I'm looking forward to doing it again. Another thing that we should do is get our creative juices flowing. Right? Creative juices. Ignore me. Yeah, but get your creative juices flowing. Now, if I'm honest, that one was a bit harder for me. And the reason being is that when you're in this state of lacking motivation and lacking energy to be creative, to tell someone to get your creative juices flowing is almost like a slap in the face, right? So for me, what that looked like was me imagining myself doing these creative things, right? I know that may sound silly, but hear me out. I didn't have the strength to get out of bed. So I figured, everything starts with the mind. Everything starts here. So I said, okay, I understand that I'm in a place of hermit mode right now. I'm healing, but I need to start moving, even if I can't physically get up, right? So I started meditating and daydreaming about myself, getting up and creating my YouTube videos, working on my business, talking to friends and family, and just doing all of those things and smiling in the process of doing it. And before I knew it, I found myself with enough energy to get up and make a YouTube video. So to me, I feel like that's a more effective way of going about it versus just saying, hey, be creative. It's like, no, it's not that easy, you know? So that really helped me get my creative juices flowing, starting with the mind. So I'm a huge sound healing person as well. So one of the things that you could do is when you're meditating, you can use the chant Yam, and that will simply vibrate and bring energy into your sacral chakra. It was all like Vam. You could do that, meditate, focus on that chant, and just keep saying it. Sometimes these things you have to work on each day to get yourself back in balance. I found that they've really helped me, and it all starts with acknowledgement. Okay, I got my sacred juices. I'm excited to give them a try and start rebalancing myself. Speaking of rebalancing, let's recap some of the remedies of ways to heal and balance your sacral chakra, right? So, the first thing you want to do is acknowledge that you have a blockage. You may not know what it is exactly, but if something's off, 9 times out of 10, there's a blockage somewhere, right? And then from there, meditate. I recommend starting off with finding where the blockage lies, doing a scan from the sacral to the root and see, hey, how am I feeling? Am I feeling some emotional turmoil here when I reach this chakra? Am I feeling heaviness, And then once you figure out what the blockage is, you can meditate and determine, what caused that blockage. The next thing is to eat orange foods. Yeah, these orange foods could be sweet potatoes, carrots, oranges, orange bell peppers, whatever it is that comes to mind. It could be butternut squash, preferably not Cheetos. Let's stay away from processed foods as much as possible and focus on whole foods. And this will give you the energy that you need to fill your sacral chakra and get it back into alignment. Get your creative juices flowing. If this requires you just visualizing yourself being creative and being emotionally stable and flowing easily in your relationships, and that's where you could start, right? From there, you will see yourself gaining the energy and willingness to start creating in real life, right? And then lastly, we can use the chant bomb. And this really helps when you're meditating because it's sending those vibrations to your sacral chakra, enlivening it up so that you can get that back in balance, right? So using the chant bomb would help. And if you do all of these actually in the same time, you will find that you may balance your chakra a bit quicker. All right, you guys, I hope that helped. Let me know in the comments below if you have any other questions or if you've actually tried some of the remedies and how they worked out for you. If you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share the love. I would appreciate it. And I hope to see you guys soon. Peace and love.